Hey, I'm Tommy Colletti. I'm here at the Music Zoo today with Ron Torina. The reason that we're both on camera right now shooting is because we're both Dean Guitars lovers and players from a long time ago. I'm holding a Dean Z in Brasilia Burst. That's a patent pending guitar that they just re-released. And Ron, I believe you're with the 77
V. That is correct. The 77V, complete with the red dots.
And I guess no better than the two of us to kind of talk Dean a little bit, because the both of us at some point in our history played Dean as kids.
Lived through the era.
So we lived through it. And there's no,
yeah.
you know, like once you experience the guitar and you live with it and you play it and stuff like that, at least in its heyday, you have a different experience. So it's fun to hold the new ones now.
Right, which is almost an exact recreation of the old ones.
And I guess that's, you know, for us, like as from your memory, it feels like the originals.
It
right?
does, it does.
I had a Z in Cherry Sunburst in, I guess it was around 1980 or so, something like that, as a young dude, like 14 years old. And I played the ever-living daylights out of it. And I know that you had a Z as well, right?
Yeah, but the very first one I got was very similar to this one, was a 79 Flying V in Cherry Sunburst. I bought it after my friend got his 80Z in Cherry Finish Flame Series guitar, all mahogany. And his guitar was killer. So then I went on the hunt. At a certain point, they were getting a little tricky to find them, so it took me a while.
Yeah.
I got the 79Z in 1986 or 87.
Oh, okay. So now, like, you got to go back to that time, you know, like what you hear now, like with the internet and everything so readily available, it seems like these were alien to us
Absolutely.
as young guitar players.
Absolutely.
There was Gibson and Fender. Gibson was in the Norland days, and Fender was in like the post CBS, just kind of, it was just a mess, right? And then in your guitar player magazines would be full page ads with these that you were just like, what is that? Look at the top on that guitar. Look at the headstock was just incredible. And then I remember just shows like just Saturday Night Special and maybe like the old Saturday Night Lives and
there was that other oh my God, yeah, there was that other show that was on Friday evenings, like they did, like, you know, rebroadcast of filmed rock performances by like the Cars or Cheap Trick or Kansas.
And that's
Kansas was a big one.
And that's where you'd see these guitars.
that's
So
where you'd
Kerry
see these
Livgren
guitars.
of Kansas had this. So Carry On Wayward Son was their, I guess, their biggest song. And he was playing one of these in Cherry Sunburst. John McVie of the Doobie Brothers had
Correct.
one.
He had quite a few of them. Yeah, he ran the gamut of them. He was like a big endorsee at the time, and I remember seeing him playing MLs and Cadillacs, a lot of Cadillacs, and like a triple pickup white V that was all customed out. You
Remember
know,
that?
That stuff was just amazing.
And not a metal band, Doobie Brothers, right? So like, you
right,
just see, it's just,
not a metal band.
And Kansas was a rock band, if anything, right?
Right.
Elliot Easton of the Cars,
Correct.
Probably the most famous,
Yeah.
at least at that time, like as far as their hits and everything, and it's just like FaceTime with the media. And as a young guitar player, you see these, and it's just Gibson and Fender at that point was kind of really just in this malaise, and really it was your dad's guitar, it was your grandfather's guitar, it wasn't our guitar at like 13, 14, 15 years old. Wanted something with more pizzazz, you know, and these had it, and they were hard to find too.
Correct. You'd go into a store, you know, any major store, and a lot of Gibson, a lot of Fender on the wall, but every once in a while you would see one of these in between the common guitars, and that one would stand out. You go, what is that one? I remember the first time I saw an ML was when Sam Ash on Queens Boulevard opened up, and they had a white ML with gold hardware and black binding. And my friend and I went there, and we looked at it like, oh my God, where did this thing come from?
And you're talking like that was like 1980 or so.
It was
right?
probably 80 or 81,
Right.
somewhere in that era, and that guitar just looked like incredible.
And the guitar I got, I had gotten at Manny's Music, which now 48th Street is dismantled entirely. But Manny's was, you'd walk into Manny's and there was photograph 8x10s of every artist that you've ever heard of on the wall, and just to be walking through the door and touching the handle of the store was a thrill too, because you knew that at some point McCartney touched that door handle.
Jimi
and
Hendrix
was in there
Yeah.
shopping. So to buy your guitar there was a thrill in itself. Like, I'm buying my guitar from the same place that Hendrix buys his guitars.
Big thing.
As a kid. So like I had bought my Z at Manny's, and it was incredible. And,
I'm sure,
and loved it. And so the thing that's really interesting about these is that they do feel very similar, if exact, to the originals. And there's not many companies that really could claim that they've got everything right.
Correct.
Dean went back and they analyzed all these guitars, the original guitars. Elliot Rubinson was a big collector of Dean guitars, so I know he had hundreds. And his son Evan has taken over the company since, and they're really making a shot at doing these guitars right. If you're a fan of these guitars in any way, shape, or form, and you've chased the old ones, or you've never owned a Dean and wanted to try, this is a great place to start. They're really a lot of fun.
And keep in mind, the original guitars came stock with DiMarzios. That was
That's right.
a big deal back in the day.
That was a big deal.
Because we didn't have to go in and buy them and install them. These guitars came hot rodded right out of the box.
That's right.
And that
That's
was a
right.
big deal, that you could go into a store and have those super hot pickups already installed in the instrument, and not have to take apart your old guitar and have new pickups put in.
Which was a major deal back then.
That was a big thing, yeah, for sure. It was.
Two solder joints, but
Yeah.
back then it was yeah.
If you think about it, if you're a young guy too and you don't know how to install your pickups, you probably just barely had enough money to buy the instrument, to pay somebody $100 to install the pickups and then buy the pickups. That was, half the price of the guitar. And a lot of guys just didn't have the bread. So
Yeah.
these guitars right out of the box, you had it. You didn't have to spend the extra money for the install.
And the
et cetera,
DiMarzio,
et cetera.
DiMarzio pickups at that point too, like, and even today, but at that point, it seemed like anything that was equipped with DiMarzios was just like already just
Yeah.
holy grail.
Sure.
And
Yep.
all of our heroes certainly were playing DiMarzio pickups,
For
whether it was
sure.
Kiss or whoever
Yeah,
it was. Like,
everybody
they were all
was
had
using them.
DiMarzios installed, and
Yep.
Larry DiMarzio is kind of a legend from New York, where New York guys like I'd hear about him being on 48th Street.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There was this whole myth and lore behind DiMarzio's stuff
Yeah.
back then,
Yeah.
And it was good stuff. The pickups were great.
Yeah.
And
it's
these
still-
pickups are great too.
Yeah.
Just like the originals.
Still carries on. So if you get a chance, check one of these out, hopefully at the Music Zoo. We'll talk to you soon.